couple once hailed as the bright modern future of the monarchy now trigger eye rolls, memes, and brutal headlines. How did Harry and Meghan go from global darlings to Hollywood punchlines in barely 7 years? The answer is a winding tale of broken fairy tales, billion-dollar dreams, and self-inflicted wounds. And it starts on the most magical spring day of 2018. On May 19th, 2018, Windsor Castle shimmered under a cobalt sky as nearly 2 billion people tuned in to watch Prince Harry wed American actress Meghan Markle. Cameras lingered on the gospel choir, the veil stitched with Commonwealth flowers, and the first interracial kiss on the steps of St. George's Chapel, an image the press dubbed the new face of royalty. Crowds erupted, newspapers proclaimed a new dawn, even hard-bitten royal reporters spoke of Hope 2.0. For a brief, champagne fizz moment, the Sussexes seemed unstoppable. But behind palace gates, courtiers already whispered about clashing work styles and tiara-gate tantrums. By autumn, tabloids were mining anonymous aides for tales of 5 a.m. emails and broken tights at Princess Charlotte's dress fitting. The couple who symbolized unity were quietly learning how ruthlessly the royal machine can chew up outsiders. But the true cost of freedom wouldn't hit until cash and credibility got tangled. January 2020. Megxit. Harry and Meghan shocked the firm and the world by announcing plans to step back as senior royals, split time between Britain and North America, and be financially independent. Within months, they inked a 5-year Netflix agreement reportedly worth up to $100 million, followed by a $20 million Spotify podcast pact. To 4, Hollywood trades buzzed about animated series, documentaries, even a superhero kids show. Insiders pitched Archewell as a purpose-driven empire built on impact entertainment. Yet industry veterans grumbled that the Sussexes still walked into every pitch room wearing invisible crowns. Budgets ballooned, deadlines slipped, and executives privately asked how much of the audience cared once palace intrigue faded. Huge checks raised expectations and scrutiny. Needing narrative control, the couple detonated the March 2021 Oprah interview. Meghan spoke of mental health despair. Harry alleged unconscious bias inside the royal family. Viewers split along Atlantic lines. In the US, they were hailed as truth-tellers. In Britain, polls nosedived overnight. When Harry dropped his memoir Spare in January 2023, opening with a frostbitten toddler Harry anecdote and ending with claims of brotherly assault, the book shattered sales records but torched what remained of family trust. Palace corridors echoed with the phrase irretrievable breakdown, and even sympathetic outlets asked whether oversharing had become the brand. That book money came at a reputational cost they hadn't calculated. June 2023. Spotify pulled the plug after 1 season of Archetypes, with podcast czar Bill Simmons blasting the Sussexes as F-ing grifters. 7. Soon rumors swirled that Netflix execs were impatient. Only a glossy 6-part docuseries and niche polo documentary had surfaced from that 9-figure deal. To stoke buzz, Meghan unveiled With Love, Meghan, a breezy cooking and wellness show filmed in someone else's kitchen. Reviews were savage. Critics mocked the Pinterest-plagiarized recipes, and Dolly Parton's team reportedly declined a cameo to avoid reputational splashback. Viewer completion rates leaked online showing episode 3 drop-offs. Critics mocked. Viewers clicked away. The cold data was even harsher. By May 2025, YouGov's Royal Tracker clocked Harry at just 27% and Meghan at 20% favorability in the UK. Historic lows. US coverage began framing them as yesterday's story, with Brooklyn and Nicola Beckham humorously recast as the new real royals. Twitter memes compared Archewell output to Fyre Festival merch, and late-night hosts riffed on Prince of Pariah punchlines. Behind the scenes, Archewell's comms team fought plagiarism accusations tied to the Netflix show, while brand analysts warned that negative sentiment now outweighed curiosity clicks. Back in Britain, the rift was getting messier, and their kids were caught in the crossfire. A Guardian expose revealed that UK passport applications for Archie and Lilibet were mysteriously delayed for 6 months over HRH styling debates. Leaks suggested King Charles didn't want the titles enshrined in official documents, prompting Harry to flirt with adopting the surname Spencer in homage to Diana. Lawyers fired letters, phones went unanswered, and courtiers groused that HRH on a passport equals HRH forever. When passports finally arrived, relations were icier than a Balmoral winter. Harry told friends that Charles won't take my calls, yet still insisted reconciliation was possible if the palace apologized. Amid the chaos, whispers of trouble closer to home began bubbling up. In January 2025, Vanity Fair reported that Meghan's representatives had quietly floated a Life After Harry memoir concept to publishers. Purely hypothetical, they stressed, but the headlines wrote themselves. Page 6 doubled down. Reddit threads exploded. Harkle breakup trended. Though the Sussexes issued a terse denial, body language analysts feasted on footage of side-eye at a Lakers game. Brand strategists noted that Meghan's lifestyle push and Harry's polo doc no longer overlapped, hinting at parallel, not joint, ambitions. Netflix insiders whispered that execs now viewed them as separate talent pods. With PR fires on all fronts, Harry floated an eyebrow-raising Plan B. Early June 2025, Australian tabloids splashed a bombshell. Harry wanted Archie and Lilibet to keep HRH options open so they could one day serve the crown. Royal commentators scoffed. William's camp allegedly won't even text, and Charles is trimming the payroll, not expanding it. Yet friends say Brand Sussex is under financial strain as Hollywood cools and speaking gig fees plateau. A U-turn to part-time royalty could reboot relevance. Others argue a total retreat. Quiet philanthropy, private wealth, no cameras might preserve the kids' sanity. Standing at this crossroads, the couple face their most consequential decision yet. Whatever move they make next won't just redefine their legacy. It could reshape the monarchy itself. While brand planners gamed out their next move, a Washington, D.C. courtroom dragged Harry back into headlines he couldn't curate. For 2 years, the Conservative Heritage Foundation had sued the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, demanding the prince's immigration file to see whether he'd confessed past drug use, details he cheerfully shared in Spare. On March 18, 2025, a federal judge ordered carefully redacted portions released, citing public interest. Tribune.com, Buckpeak, thesun.co.uk, Hawks's black rectangles blanked out most answers, but pundits pounced. Donald Trump allies urged the administration to show the full truth, hinting at deportation if Harry had lied. Mypost.com. Harry's lawyers insisted the Duke entered on an O1 talent visa and ticked every box. A Vanity Fair source said the redactions further weaken misrepresentation claims. VanityFair.com. Yet bloggers posted countdown clocks to an imagined Hexit, while late-night comics joked the prince could end up back at Frogmore with a one-way Ryanair voucher. As lawyers wrangled over black ink and broken privacy, Meghan faced a different kind of rumor mill. Ever since she cold-called U.S. senators about paid leave reform in 2021, Meghan had been cast in speculative headlines as Duchess for office. In early 2025, Newsweek reprised the theory, citing California power donors who would write 7-figure checks tomorrow. Newsweek.com. Royal commentators called it the ultimate narrative twist, while The Sun warned she'd be eaten alive in the dirtiest game on earth. thesun.co.uk. Then, on a new podcast appearance, Meghan broke her silence with a crisp one-word answer. No. People.com. She dismissed political ambitions but left the door ajar for a lifestyle book and a second children's title, projects safely devoid of campaign finance filings. Still, strategists whispered that flat denials often precede testing the waters. The chatter proved two things. Her name alone could hijack a news cycle, and any future move, Senate, governorship, or simply a high-gloss memoir, would be judged against dwindling public goodwill. Politics set aside, the couple needed a cleaner battlefield. one where good deeds could drown out bad press. Enter Africa. In May 2024, the Sussexes spent 3 days in Nigeria, partnering with Masai Ujiri's Giants of Africa to fund adaptive basketball courts and announce a new Invictus Center in Abuja. GatesGlobalHeroes.com. People.com. The feel-good images, Meghan hugging schoolgirls, Harry shooting hoops with veterans, outperformed every Netflix teaser they'd released that year. Archewell's 2023-24 Impact Report boasted 300+ women empowered and 2,000 youth served. Archewell.org. Critics called the numbers modest for a foundation bankrolled by A-list deals, but brand trackers logged a 6-point uptick in U.S. sentiment after the trip. Plans for a follow-up tour to Ghana leaked to the press, hinting at a broader global South strategy. HindustanTimes.com. Meanwhile, Netflix greenlit a short documentary on the Abuja build. Low budget, high halo. Insiders said the streamer viewed it as a reputational make good, ahead of renegotiating the Sussex contract, which expires in late 2025. Goodwill was creeping back, but one misstep could reset the clock, leaving the couple to weigh whether slow, steady philanthropy could ever outrun the speed of scandal. From redacted visa pages to red carpet basketball courts, Harry and Meghan have discovered that every attempt to pivot sparks a fresh round of fascination and skepticism. Their next chapter poses a stark choice: double down on quiet impact or chase one more headline-grabbing reinvention. Because in the age of perpetual commentary, the hardest story to write might be the one where they finally step out of the spotlight and let the work speak louder than the brand.